If you're considering a career in healthcare, I'm going to tell you why I think PA school is genuinely one of the best paths you can take. PA school has ultimately pushed me harder than anything else in my entire life, and yet I would still choose it all over again if I started again. I'm over halfway through PA school at this point, about to graduate in about 3 months, and I can honestly say I chose the right decision, and I am super thankful that I made the choice to go to PA school. If you're considering joining PA school or applying, I'm going to tell you exactly why it's actually worth it and why you should do it. And hopefully by the end of the video, even that guy back there will convince you PA school is worth it too. The first thing I want to say about PA school is that it really throws you into real medicine really fast. Whether it's clinicals, whether it's actual school education, you're going to see a lot of medicine. You're going to be exposed to a ton of different scenarios of medicine and different aspects of medicine. Another cool thing about PA school is that instead of a lot of just textbook reading, which there is an entire year of related to actual textbook learning that's called didactic year, you are doing a lot of hands-on different things. So whether it's labs, whether it's skills, you are actually using your hands-on skills. And obviously once you get to clinical year, that's kind of all you're doing throughout that process. And as you progress and get further along on your journey, you're going to be amazed by how people actually take your medical advice seriously, and you realize that what you're saying is actually legit medical advice, and people kind of take that to heart. And so you realize how much you grow as you progress, and it's a pretty incredible journey. One of the biggest reasons I think PA school is also very beneficial for all people to join and all people to consider applying if you are interested in medicine is you're constantly growing. Speaking from my personal experience from my first semester till now, my confidence has only skyrocketed. The amount of education that I have ultimately ingested and internalized and am now using out in the clinical world has been incredible. And I think all the fellow classmates that I know really can say that too, that the amount that you learn and ultimately apply and see yourself grow during that time frame is incredible. You feel yourself growing, whether you're talking to patients, whether you're talking to providers, other individuals. It really does change you, not only from a medicine standpoint, but from a personal standpoint and personal growth standpoint. So if you are interested in self-development, self-growth, really setting new kind of layers of yourself to develop into and to grow into, I think PA school is great for that reason. Another reason PA school is incredibly valuable and incredibly rewarding is the patient interactions that you have with patients. Not only in the first year where you're learning and developing and you occasionally go out and see patients here and there, but the second year, especially with clinical rotations, those interactions you're having with people and those relationships you build with your patients really is special. You ultimately realize that medicine is way more human than you think, and you have small moments that you interact with patients, or at least I have from personal experience, where you interact with patients and you really remember those forever, especially if they are moments that you had a major impact on them or they had a major impact on you. It's a really special aspect of medicine that you really get to see firsthand as a PA student. The other incredible thing about PA school and ultimately becoming a PA is you're able to have a life outside of medicine. Whether it's time in the gym, with friends, you're able to manage all those things as a PA, especially in clinical year, which I am in now. I'm not gonna lie, it is incredibly challenging during didactic year when you're first thrown into everything, but the more you get acclimated to it, the more you develop and really learn how to manage different things, it gets a lot easier. In that transition from first year to second year, you figure out what works for you in your progression, and balancing all those different things really does get easier. Another reason PA school is incredibly worth it, and you should consider if you're interested in medicine, is ultimately because of its versatility. As PAs, we have the ability to switch specialties. We can go see different things from surgery to primary care to different settings all across the board. And ultimately in clinical year of PA school, which is what I am in now, you're thrown into all different settings. So I'm currently in surgery. I went to OB, I went to outpatient primary care. So seeing all these different things, you're kind of exposed to so much, and it keeps it really interesting. So say you really don't like something, you stay there for a little bit and then they move you to another spot. So there's always that option to go somewhere else eventually and see what you like. And that's really interesting if you don't really know exactly what you want to do, or if you're like me in the beginning of school where I really had no idea what I found interesting. And so seeing all these different things, you're really exposed to so much in medicine, and it's a really incredible experience. Another reason PA school is absolutely worth it is because it mentally makes you much stronger. Whether it's through handling pressure, because there is plenty of pressure in PA school. I'm sure I'll make other videos about the pressure specifically, but whether it's pressure, managing that, time management skills, communication skills, all these different things, you're kind of forced to grow in PA school, and all those things you're gonna see growth no matter what from the first year till when you graduate. Kind of touch on this on an earlier video of mine of imposter syndrome, but that feeling of imposter syndrome really starts to die down eventually as you progress throughout your time in PA school, and the more and more you stick with it, the more you see that growth growth, and you really become ultimately an entire, not only different clinician, but an entire different person by the beginning to the end. Being thrown into complex medical scenarios as a student really makes you mature fast, and ultimately, not only just personally, but also clinically and as a provider, you're able to manage multiple things at once, see different things, start thinking more in medical terms and as a provider rather just an observer. And trust me, coming from me, someone who incredibly struggled during the first year PA school, which is P1 year, it's called for us, I can officially tell you that I made it through that first year. I'm on the second year now, which is clinicals, and the growth has been insane. Not only just me personally, the amount of confidence I've grown and adapted just being in the role of being a medical provider, but also just otherwise, just communication wise, time management wise, all these different aspects of your life, you're really able to develop and grow. And ultimately, another reason you should consider PA school is because of the flexibility in terms of lifestyle. I kind of mentioned this earlier, but your ability to switch specialties is such an awesome benefit as a physician assistant. You having the ability to choose something you're interested in, and if you're not interested in, switching that out. You have so much adaptability and variability in your role of practice as you progress. And also you have a little bit of a work-life balance. Rather than being an attending and having full responsibility, you have the ability of an attending to perform your medical role and exercise your autonomy as a PA with a little bit less of that immediate responsibility. So you have a little bit more of a balance in terms of lifestyle, in terms of managing things outside of work. So it really allows for that versatility. So ultimately, in the end, PA school is really hard. I'm not going to go too into it right now. I'm going to have multiple videos in my channel, so be sure to subscribe if you're interested, but I'm not going to sugarcoat it and say it's easy. Between burnout, exams, feeling exhausted, you are constantly doubting yourself and pushing yourself to new levels. But ultimately, like I said, I would choose this again if I had to restart education. And that's why I'm making this video. So anyone interested in being a PA can see this, can know that it is possible, it is challenging, but the growth and the amount of change that you will go through makes it worth it. And if you are really interested in PA school, but you're wondering if you're capable enough, if you're talented enough, or if you're just scared to even consider starting it or applying, I want you to know that everyone feels that way. That's entirely normal, and I can fully admit that I felt that exact way when I first started, and getting through it has really proven to myself that it is possible, and I want to make this so that I can influence and encourage other people out there to tell you guys that it is possible as well. So don't let hearing how difficult and hard it is discourage you from even considering this. If this is something you're interested in, if you are interested in medicine, I want you to consider it, and I fully recommend it. And if you're interested in more PA related content in terms of medicine in general, or just lifestyle of a PA or PA student, feel free to subscribe. I'm going to be releasing more videos about PA related topics and just lifestyle of a PA student, soon to be graduate. So if that's something you're interested in, consider subscribing. I appreciate you all for listening, and thank you so much.